Tim Albright with Aviation with an InfoComm 2019 special. What we're doing is we are previewing the exhibitors coming to InfoComm 2019, June 8th through the 14th. The show floor itself is open the 12th through the 14th. And with me today, talk about Kramer's booth, is my old friend, Mr. Clint Hoffman. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here, Tim.
You guys have one of the bigger booths at InfoComm. I saw you at ISE, hang out with you every year. At InfoComm this year in Orlando. So we are going to enter the Kramer booth, and the Kramer booth is 2929. So we enter 2929 this year in Orlando. What are we going to find, Clint?
So we're going to have, I think one of the primary things that you're going to find is the direction that Kramer sees the market going in, and you're going to see more and more of our following that direction. Let me be more specific. Last year, we talked a lot in our booth about the future of AV probably being software and being, therefore, a platform. We have a bunch of solutions that we're really selling that are very popular. We have VIA, our wireless presentation and collaboration. It's software. We put it in a box because that's traditionally more comfortable for the AV industry, but it's software. It could live outside the box. We have Kramer Control now. It's software. It's actually even cloud-based. We're moving towards AV over IP. So we have virtual matrix switchers and we have codecs. Again, the codecs are in boxes, but this is all software. And eventually, I think that people are going to choose a manufacturer and buy a piece of software that does all their AV stuff and do it over their network. So as we're moving in this direction, we actually are going to be using the word in the booth platforms, and we're going to be having more and more devices that are multifunction. For example, we will have VIA wireless presentation and collaboration devices, but they will also be capable of being encoders. They will also, or decoders, they'll also be capable of doing digital signage as a standalone player. They'll also be capable of, having a brain and therefore being able to act as a Kramer control brain in the room. You won't have to buy a separate CPU. So we're going to be having more and more of that in the booth, and you're going to see that this year.
So you talk about the platform segment for a second, because this is something that Kramer has been building towards, I would argue, for the last few years. You know, you've got VIA, you've got the new control system that's distributed, right? The distributed brains.
Yep.
Got DSP. You're creating a platform. How is that? How are you guys, kind of migrating the dealers, your customers that have been used to, Kramer being, this maybe this part or this piece of equipment, now just putting it all together onto a platform?
So, that actually has, at this point in time in the development of this transition, has a lot more to do with us than the partners. And again, that's what's going to happen at the show. So instead of having all this stuff that eventually could be one platform, gradually we're moving to where we're having more multi-function, multi-capable units or solutions. So as I said, we have VIA, and people have been buying VIA for wireless presentation and collaboration, or they've been buying Kramer Control. Now they can buy a VIA that has the Kramer Control in it. And more importantly, in our booth, there is a PR that's going to be going out shortly, but in our booth and in the Sony booth, Sony has decided that every Bravia professional monitor that they sell is going to have a Kramer Control brain in it. Wow. So if you buy Sony monitors, you could then turn on the brain inside the monitor and control your space, interact with your space through the Sony monitor. You wouldn't need a Kramer CPU, if you will. We call them brains, but other people call them CPUs.
Well, that's a remarkable partnership, though. I mean, how were you guys able to, partner with Sony then and kind of bring those two together?
I think that, Sony, like Kramer and like every other manufacturer, wants to provide as much value as they can. So, through an encounter along the way, they were like, well, that software could live in our device. Yeah, absolutely it could. And then the customer could turn it on if they wanted to and pay a monthly fee. Yeah, absolutely. So that's how we got there. There's one other thing that I want to say, Tim, before we get too far, though. There's the word platform. So we're going to be relying heavily on that at the show, but there is this odd negative connotation that has kind of developed in the professional market. So it's really how you use the word platform. When we use the word platform, we're talking about a multifunction device. What integrators don't want to hear is that they have to use a platform. In other words, if you went to an integrator and said, hey, you got to sell all Kramer solutions at every point in the chain, they don't want to hear that. And rightfully so, because they sell solutions that do the best that they possibly can for their customers. They put multiple manufacturers together. And right now, at this point in the market, we're not saying, hey, you need to buy a complete Kramer solution. We're just saying we can give you more boxes, more solutions that do more things at once and therefore make everybody's life better. And eventually we'll get to a platform. And if we get to a platform, we do it right, then they'll be willing to sell that. But there's this weird, don't tell me I got to buy just 100% your stuff. And I get it. And I agree. But we're trying to make it easier and easier by putting more functionality into individual solutions.
So when you use the word platform, you're talking more the appliance itself. You're giving those appliances more of a platform and more capabilities.
Correct. We're saying that, that multifunction is the word I keep coming back to. Maybe it's not the best, but that's the one I keep coming back to. It's like you buy this and you got these other things as well.
All right, very good. Clint, not everybody is going to be going to InfoComm, though, again, that is the 12th through the 14th of June. If they're not going and they want to follow along with everything that Kramer will be talking about that week, how do they do that?
You can check us out at www.kramerus.com. I'm sorry, I just gave you my email address. It's www.kramerav.com. Thank you. And you can go to our website, and once you're there, there will be a link for what's happening at the show. There is a mini site for the show, so you can just jump over there and check it out.
All right, very good. Again, their booth number is 2929 for Kramer. For us, for AV Nation, you can go by the website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. And follow along as we also head to Orlando, June 12th to the 14th, and bring you everything from the show floor, including a visit with our friends at Kramer. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.